Good evening, guys. It's 4:14 p.m. Today is Monday, and we are going to trade September month contract starting today. So all the levels are for September month. Okay. So stick with longs above 43.34 in ES. Stick with NQ long above. Is it today? Yeah, above 4665, 1416.5 to 708. Above 58 equal to more buyers active. It is all about levels now. One day sell off will come this week, one day, I don't know when. I already gave you a reaction levels for the kind of sell off in this chart, in Discord to watch for. I'll show you later on, in the chart. And then starting tomorrow, till 6:20 I am on vacations. That means no pre-market notes or end of day videos for entire this week till next Monday, so start actually next Tuesday. So Wednesday onwards, next Wednesday, which is 6:21 onwards, I will do pre-market notes and end of day video. So this entire 1 week I am taking off. Okay, so 58 we know, 34 we know that buyers are more active above this area, NQ this area, right? So stick with longs, right? So that's the idea. Today was a rollover effect also, so yesterday on Friday also, today also. So now let's talk about this, right? So this is 34 above buyers, and this is 58 area, 58, 56 above buyers, more buyers active. Okay, now of the open, right? So this is 56, 58 area, this rectangle, right? Above more buyers active, correct? Now if you look at it in RTH, basically this area acted as a resistance, right? Because above buyers are more active. That's basically kind of intraday line in sand. So now this rejection, right? See here, and the gap fill. So we were watching this price action of the open, in Discord while I was talking. So we didn't take any longs or anything here because we couldn't find any good setup here. Because ES was doing ping pong, NQ was also doing ping pong, like ES was going down, NQ was going up, NQ was going down, ES was going up, so nothing was in sync. So we just waited, and then price couldn't do anything till 10:40 or 10:33. We said, what, call it a day off. There is no trading for today because I have to do packing and all this thing. So I stopped my trading right here. Okay. Now actually, when did I stop? Actually, what was it, 10 to 18? Yes, so 10:45, 10:34 or so, so but anyway, so here we didn't take any trade, but the idea was look for failed breakdown. That is what I said, look for failed breakdown at any of this support. See, this was a gap fill area, right? So 53 is the support I gave, and then 51, and then 46. I said any of the levels, if price goes there, you look for failed breakdown. That was the idea. So the idea did not click here, because there was nothing failed breakdown kind of stuff. But then if you look at carefully here, okay, so now watch this and this together, right? So now before I go proceed with this one, so preferred sellers area and preferred buyers area was this area, 70 to 47 to 50 area. Notice one thing here, I did not put preferred sellers area here or here, or here. I put it here when I wrote a note at 6 o'clock, right? I can put it here also, preferred sellers area, but I choose to keep it here. Why? Right? You should have a question, why? Because price was trading above this preferred buyers area, and this was the critical area. So if price is trading above it, technically this area becomes buyers area. So that's why it's a preferred buyers area. And since here you cannot sell it, because these are not the level to sell, these are the levels to take profit, not selling. That's why I kept it here, that if price goes below this, then you can consider this area as a preferred sellers area and take a short if you want to. I wouldn't prefer short, but at least intraday some selling will come. That's the whole idea. See, that's why it's a preferred sellers area was lower today, not higher. So at least now you know no shorts here. Looking at this, you should assume that there is no short because backup sellers area is here. So that this is all buyers area pretty much, you know. So that's why no shorts, right? So now you understand why I was saying look for only failed breakdown longs, right? No shorts. So now you look at NQ. Preferred buyers area was this, aggressive buyers area was this. In Discord I said 780 is the level, you know, watch 780. And I think here, did I mention it here? I did not mention it here, but because of this, okay, naked dream number. So I said NQ holds above 780 and ES holds above 56 or 53 or 46. Those are the areas, you know, look for something at those areas, you know. So if you look at it, NQ, that's a 780 level, right? Say it was holding it here, see that 780. ES was holding 56 at that time, right here, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So since it was doing back and forth, we can't pinpoint the long location, you know, because technically it has to go above 58, 56, hold it. And before that, in pre-market, I said this is the rectangle that sellers are defending. So if this is what I said, if it breaks through it, the rectangle needs to hold it. You know, that is what I said. This is the chart I gave it earlier, you know, before open. So now you extend the rectangle like this, okay. So at least you know below this some intraday sellers are there, and above 56, 58 some buyers are there, right? So it was stuck. So and then NQ was stuck. I said 822 is the line. It goes above it, buyers, you know. So here you can see it right here. So I'm going to zoom it, so at least you know there were two trades here, very nice. So I took one of them. So here, so before I closed off, right, so here you can see it. I was looking for failed breakdown here and here, right? So at 10:06, and also in Discord I said 765, 780, 765 or 735. These three levels I gave. Look for failed breakdown, you know. So if it goes through 780, it will go to 765, and then look for failed breakdown there. If it goes through it, 745 or 735, you know. So here it touched 765, you know, right to the T pretty much, okay. At that time 10:08, ES was right here. So ES was not making new low, NQ was breaking down, right? Remember, we are looking for failed breakdown. This is a divergence between both of them, correct? So and then once it breaks down, right, 780 can act as a resistance, correct? And in Discord I said for now assume sellers are there for a minute. That is what I said. For a minute assume sellers are there. They took a breakdown below 780. Now they have to hold below 780. So for now watch 780. It has to hold below it. If you see any weakness there, price goes through it, that's your long setup, you know. So I did not waited for these things, you know. So I took the long right here, 760, you know, right around in this area I took the long. Okay, I'll show you later on in hold on. See this thing, 10, 17, 18, 19. See right here, 775. See that? And target was 822, right? So now this was the target, basically this line, okay. Now so I took the long right around here. See, so why not wait for 780? See, sometimes in order to get a good location you have to read it at the macro level. So if you look at it here, right, first time 765, which is this, see here, touched it, right, then it went to 780, correct? So and then it came down, right, like this. See, it couldn't go lower to the T. See that? It touched it, then it went higher, again touched 780. See, if these 780 sellers were so strong, price should not have even come back again here. This time it should have just sliced through it, you know. to all the way up to here. The moment this thing tried to pop up right here, I took the long. Okay, now you got it. At the time 1020 ES was at here. See that? So that's why that's the long. But now the question is, since ES is holding below 56.58, we cannot go long in ES, so we have to wait. But NQ you can if you want to, but I took the chance in NQ, so my target was this, right? So 1050, if you look at it, 1050 ES was still at 56.58, right? So now I have to bail out because ES still couldn't go higher, right? So that's where I bailed out NQ. Okay, now in between this price action, because of NQ moving higher, you can see one more thing also here. See, that was a trade in ES. See here at 1019 we took this long in NQ, right? But we didn't do anything in ES. Now you look at this. This was the low. See that here at 1040 ES break below it, right? Now ES is trying to break down when this candle is running, and NQ was holding above this VWAP. Divergence again. NQ is holding higher, ES is making new low. So NQ already had a fail breakdown. Now it is here, most likely it will go here. That means ES may do a fail breakdown here and it will go back to this area, right? So that was the idea here. So now once you see this candle popping up, price holding in this area again try to go up, this is where you go long. Target this, or potentially higher depending on NQ. At 1050 here, ES was still here, NQ was here, right? Resistance, you bail out. Now your day is over technically here, because now you assume price is going to chop entire day unless it goes above this area, right? So which is this area, these two highs, completely. By the time you want to see ES trading above 56.58, right, and go through this area which is 62 to 61. Okay, now watch what happens next. I was not trading, by the way. Okay, by that time I was like doing my packing for my trip. So here you can see it, 1132, right? There is a breakout of this area. Now buyers are in control and they can defend even this area now, turn into support. And next thing is they will go to 61.62, which is this rectangle. Once it goes through it, buyers are locked in. So here NQ, see that 1132 breakout, then NQ went higher, right? Then it pulled back. Hold on. Here 1157, that's the ES, right? Pulling back to this 56.58. That is your long right there, right? Now in this process you also aware that it went to this rectangle, which is this area, right? Obviously first time up in RTH. See, this is like before RTH, right? Like right before RTH, somebody will try to sell it here, right? So but this is not the resistance, right? Preferred sellers area is way below. So you should not be afraid of taking a long here. At the same time, NQ was right around at this level 838, right? So NQ was kind of didn't even reach here. So it's up to you whether you want to press the button at the same time with ES or want to wait for NQ. So later on NQ came here at 1222, where ES came down to right here. It didn't even break below this low, correct? But if you took this long, when it reached again here, you take a profit, right? Because NQ was still trading below this red line at that time. So you take profit here. Now you wait. Then NQ came down to this area. So now you keep your focus on NQ to see whether it's holding. Here NQ was holding, right, around 1226. ES was also holding above this low, right? So now, but this is the middle area. You can't go long here, but NQ you can, right? So but you wait here. Then when ES broke out here, this is where you go long, right? This is at the time of breakout, right? But breakouts are not allowed. Remember I said in Discord, stay away from breakout, look for pullbacks, right? So here pretend that buyers came in, right? But you're not taking this breakout, right? So you're waiting. Then this area, which is this rectangle, remember I said if it goes above it, it has to hold it, correct? So now you know this area, they have to hold it, right? So see that 137, that was your long. Now at that time in Q, if it is at the support, you can take longs. So 137, NQ was here, it was not a support by the way, right? It was a garbage area. So NQ you cannot do anything except you wait for ES to hold here, go higher about this area. See, this is the sell off, last sell off, which is around 145, right? So 145 you can go long in NQ, which is right around here, which is a breakout trade, which I don't like it. But now NQ was breaking above the entire last 3 days balance above this 867. That's why you take a breakout, take your chance, because if this breakout holds it, then price may go all the way to 914, or could be this area. This is listed as a backup sellers area. See these things, right? So 914 went through it all the way up to this area, pretty much close to it, right? That's where you take a profit for this long. If you want to, here you scale out profit here. Yes, I said 43.84. See here, this is where you take a profit, 15.15, which is NQ was at the time probably right around here, 975, you know. So now you understand, overall buyers are still active and you should only look for fail breakdown. But unfortunately we couldn't get a long here, right? Except I got it here just based on the fail breakdown. But you know, it was very tough price action. The real longs started after noon time, basically, you know, after 11:50 or so. These were the longs. If you are trading, if you're not trading, let it go. You know, there is always be a tomorrow, and you will get some longs tomorrow also. But tomorrow is CPI and PPI, so I don't know whether. So now this is what I was talking. I said I put it in the chart, right? For since I'm not here entire week, this is what I'm thinking. So now, since this entire move happened in pretty much after the lunch time, right? So this is a CPI location. So price can come up to this point, you know, this in this rectangle during CPI or PPI, you know, but it has to hold it basically. Okay, so that's a backup buyers area from today. So this becomes your temporary line in set, you know, during CPI. It has to hold above this area, then it will travel higher up. Okay, now price may not go above 44.60 this week while I am out, and it may not go below 42.60. So it's a 200 point range. Since I'm not here for entire week, I don't know, right? So I have to guesstimate. So 200 point range, okay, the bottom and top. Then this was a max target for the day one. Expect reaction, right? So here you may get some reaction in the overnight, you know, especially if it falls below this area, you know, this 78. It will try to come to this area, 43.66, 62, somewhere here in the overnight, and then overnight can be locked down into this range, and then tomorrow during CPI it can do this or this. Okay, now this expect a reaction which is 44.06 to 08 area, first time up. So if CPI touch there directly from here to here, expect some response, but you remember, no selling. This is a max 2, you know, this area which is 17 to 13 area, right? So if it goes there straight up during CPI or PPI, expect response. Now once it goes above it, right, and you see start trading, price is trading here, and then try to go higher, right, it will go all the way to 44 60 to 57. That's where it will stop or pause, and the end of this week, either it will pause there or somewhere into this range, but ideally it should not go above this area for this entire week, right? So today is just a Monday, right? So now I'm expecting next 4 days, right, price will not go above this, before doing some chop or pullback, something like this. So kind of this, this is like CPI or PPI, right? After that, let's say during CPI, price goes down, right? Then like this is like entire week price action, I'm thinking. Okay, since I'm not here to observe all this thing, right, I have to come up with some analysis, right? So this is what I can think right now. But stick with longs as much as you can, right? And if 60-minute time frame is going to breakdown mode, right, then you can think about like, hey, maybe sellers are becoming active. Till then, favor longs. Okay, that be all for today.